Good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Suresh Gaurji, Dr. Reddy. I understand that our parliamentarian colleague and state BJP president, the newly elected state BJP president, Shri Pandit Sanjay Kumari ji is also there. And I have been told that there are many doctors who are connected right now with me from New Delhi. You are all in Hyderabad and various other places of Telangana. I have to first apologize to you because we were supposed to meet a little earlier, but because of some confusion and communication, we couldn't communicate earlier because of obvious reasons that you all know. But anyway, I am grateful to all of you that in spite of the fact that you had to make alternate arrangements, you have been able to do that, and we are all now connected to each other, though after 1.5 hours. This speaks volumes about your commitment to the cause. I have been communicating regularly with all the health ministers and all the health officials all over the country belonging to the government sector. I have also been communicating with various representatives of various organizations in the society, of course with the doctors also, the Indian Medical Association doctors, the Confederation of Indian Industry, the Rotary International, and with many of our RSS leaders who have been trying to help the cause. I had communicated with people in Mumbai, Thane, Pune, Indore, some of these big hotspots in the country recently. And I am happy that my doctor cell colleagues of the BJP have also come forward to help strengthen the cause of mitigation of COVID-19 in the country. I will be very brief in my sharing of thoughts with you. You are all doctors and you are all intelligent enough to be following everything in great detail. But even then, I would like to briefly summarize the sequence of events that have happened over the last 3.5 months. For us, it has been almost a journey of more than 3.5 months now, working day in and day out, dedicatedly for handling the COVID-19 pandemic. As doctors, you all know that this is a new virus. The first information about the cases due to this virus was reported to the world by the Chinese authorities on 31st of December, and they had told the world that they have seen new cases of pneumonia with unknown etiology in their country, and more particularly in Wuhan and Hubei province. And then after having said that, within 7 days of that, they had declared and communicated to the World Health Organization on 7th of January that they have noticed a new coronavirus on the international scene, and this coronavirus is causing cases of pneumonia in their country. Since we already had a lot of experience about having faced various other coronaviruses in the past, whether it was Ebola or Nipah or H1N1 or SARS, etc., or MERS in the past. So I feel pride in telling you that we were the first country in the whole world to have reacted immediately to the news of the arrival of a new coronavirus in China. And it was on 8th of January, within less than 24 hours of the arrival of this news in the world, that we called a meeting of our group of experts in the health ministry, which was attended by senior doctors, Director General of Health Services, epidemiologists, public health experts, our ICMR people, representatives from WHO. We called everybody together. And this is a routine thing that we do whenever there is a new disease outbreak, or within the country also, whenever we start seeing something which is new or abnormal in terms of its proportion, etc. So 8th January we had our first technical expert group meeting in the health ministry, and after detailed deliberations we started preparing our country for handling, if at all there is a need, COVID. And within next 7 to 8 days, on 17th of January, by that time we had, by 17th of January we had formulated our detailed guidelines and detailed advisories to be issued and sent to all the state health departments, and we had issued them on 17th of January. On 17th of January itself we decided about intensifying our community surveillance in the country pertaining to the likelihood of the arrival of this virus from China. We got in touch with the Chinese, our embassy in China, told them to inform us about everybody who is coming to India from there, because the embassy has all the records. We also decided that all our flights coming from China and Hong Kong will be screened at our 7 airports, which of course included your Hyderabad airport also. We started screening at Calcutta, Delhi, Bombay, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore, and also Kochi. We started doing thermal screening and detailed evaluation of the passengers coming from China and Hong Kong. We had started all this on 17th and 18th of January. This was because of this robust surveillance activity that we had done, that we could catch hold of our first patient, who was a medical student, young medical student who came from China on she started from on 24th and landed in Calcutta on 25th, developed symptoms within a day or two, and when tested was confirmed positive on 30th of January. That was our first case. Our second case was confirmed on 1st of February, and subsequently the third case in Kerala was the one who arrived in Calcutta. From there went to Bangalore, from Bangalore to Kochi, and then from Kochi to the native place. In between, changed 2 flights, 2 hotels, 3 train journeys, bus journey, taxis and private cars. And for that case we had to, through contact tracing, contact 162 people right from the time when the passenger or the patient had started his journey from China. So this is just to give you a fair idea of the fact that although WHO had declared on 30th of January that there is an emergency of international health concern out there, and our first case was also on 30th January, but we had started working on it at least 23 days earlier and had issued detailed advisories to the states at least 13 days earlier, had started screening. And when the first and second case were reported, the Prime Minister had constituted a group of experts under my chairmanship with other ministers also there, from civil aviation, from the external affairs, from pharmaceuticals, from shipping, from home, with all very senior top officers of various ministries. This group of ministers, they started deliberating from time to time. Today itself we had our 13th meeting of this group in the last 2 months, and we reviewed everything in great detail from time to time. From the point of view of the travels, we issued detailed travel advisories, involved more countries, more airports, simultaneously as per the emerging global situation. And ultimately we banned all international flights, all international passengers coming to India on 19th of March. So we had our last passenger from a foreign country on 23rd of March at 8 o'clock in the evening. And within 2 days at that time, we had almost 64,000 passengers coming to India, and we made arrangements for their quarantining. We also ensured that there is a screening at all our borders when we saw our first case in Nepal. And also we ensured screening of all our passengers coming through ships. So just to give you an idea of the scale, I may tell you that we screened over 15 lakh passengers of 15,000 flights. We also screened over 20 lakh people crossing the border between Nepal and India. We also screened around 48,000 people who came to India through ships at 12 major seaports and 65 non-major seaports. And at any point of time we had from thousands to lakhs who were under detailed community surveillance monitored by our National Center for Disease Control in New Delhi with the help of surveillance officers, rapid response teams all over the country, and of course aided by the state governments also. So this was a huge exercise. Today also through the community surveillance, over 8 lakh people are under community surveillance in the country. This whole process was simultaneously supported by the Prime Minister, who himself monitored. There was monitoring at the level of Cabinet Secretary, there was monitoring at almost all levels. The whole of government was involved, lot of other ministries were involved, and we started preparing for any situation that might emerge in the future. You know, we organized the Janta Curfew with an appeal from the Prime Minister on 22nd of March. It was followed by a lockdown, and we ensured that lockdown is done at a stage where we have not gone into any advanced stage like the other countries in the whole world. When they started facing lot of trouble and lot of deaths and all those things, then only they thought of things like lockdown, etc. But we adopted overall a proactive, preemptive and graded response according to the global emerging situation. And this was because of this, that right now I can say that we are in total control of the situation. We have the least number of cases in the whole world, whether it is in terms of number per millions or numbers in the whole population. We have the lowest mortality in the whole world, around 3%. Right now we have a doubling rate between 9 and 10. We have a very good recovery rate. Over 5,000 of our patients have got recovered and gone back to their homes. We have made enough arrangements for adequate number of things that we will require and which we are needing, whether it is personal protective equipments, N95 masks, whether it is the drugs, whether it is enough of isolation beds, enough of ICU beds in the country, oxygen cylinders, ventilators. All that is required. Even if we face the worst possible situation in the country, we have made enough and adequate preparations for all that. I happen to be the Minister for Science and Technology also. So our scientists are working very hard to find out many of these solutions. Some of our labs of CSIR in Hyderabad are also actively part of our process. We have isolated the virus. We are working along with Oxford to develop the vaccine. We are doing genetic sequencing of the virus to establish its journey and how it proceeds further. We have worked on development of kits and tests within our country. Also, we have ensured that this COVID proves to be a blessing in disguise for the country. We were not manufacturing any PPEs in this country because the fabric had to be imported from China. But we, during the course of these last few weeks, have been able to develop 104 manufacturers in the country for PPEs. And today, on an average, we are getting more than 1 lakh PPEs made in the country through various manufacturers. Similar is the story for N95 masks, where we have got 10 manufacturers preparing them. The same is the story for ventilators. Now we are getting those ventilators manufactured in our own country. Although we are not requiring much of oxygen ventilators or ICU beds, but even then we have made arrangements for enough ventilators and have ordered for 60,000 more. We have ordered for over 1 lakh of more oxygen cylinders, etc., etc. So the whole government is working on all the fronts. We have a list of over 1 crore of Corona warriors that we have got enlisted from various sections of the society all over the country, who are helping us in this cause and who are being trained continuously. In the Health Ministry also, We had to simultaneously do the capacity building, and at least 1 million of people have been trained during the course of these last few months, 1 or 2 months. Whether it is the ASHA worker, whether it is the doctors, whether it is at the national level or the state level or the district level or the hospital level, whether it is the staff at the airports, immigration, teams handling disaster, and various other sections of the society. Because for COVID-19 solutions, we don't require only doctors, we require all the sections of the society. So our health ministry has been training them. A good quality capacity has also been built up for that. A couple of years back, the test for the virus used to go to America for testing. And when we started this journey in January, we had only one big lab in Pune, the National Institute of Virology. And today when I talk to you, we are so fortunate that our doctors and virologists have been able to, with the help of ICMR, we have been able to create around 350 labs in the country. We intend to do a lakh of tests by the end of May. Today also we are doing over 40 to 45,000 tests in a day. Our capacity for the day is about 55,000. The good thing is that in spite of scaling up the number of people who are being tested according to the well-defined criteria, only 4% of them, 3 to 4% of them are continuing to come positive from the day one. As of today, there is no scientific evidence of the disease having travelled into the community, what we classically call as the stage 3 of transmission. So it's a very well controlled situation. The whole lot of districts in the whole country, we have now divided them into the districts. Almost 50% of the districts are such which have not got infected till now, and the rest of them are divided into hotspots and non-hotspot districts. Hotspots are the ones where we have more than 15 cases or less than 15 cases, divided into two categories depending upon that our strategy to contain the disease is there, and then there are the non-hotspot districts where we have hardly any cases. So we know the enemy, we know where the location of the enemy is, and we are effectively using all measures of surveillance, containment, house-to-house surveys, etc., to mitigate the virus. So this is in brief an account. I have been in touch with the WHO's regional office. I have been in touch with the WHO's headquarters in Geneva. Only day before, I had a video conferencing with all the health ministers of the whole world, and you will be happy to know that WHO had asked me to present on behalf of the whole of Southeast Asia region a presentation made from India for the rest of the world. There had been 2, 3, 4 video conferences like this, twice with the health ministers of the whole world and once with the health ministers of the Southeast Asia region. The whole world has acknowledged the contribution of India. We have also had video conferences with the WHO monitors and surveillance officers in the field at over 1,600 places recently. So they are all involved in it. As I said earlier, a lot of voluntary organizations and industry organizations like CII, Rotary International, they are all NGOs of various types, resident welfare associations, BJP workers. We are video conferencing with many of them, with our CSIR labs, scientists, doctors. On Wednesday, I am going to have a video conference with 92,000 NGOs of the whole country. So we are trying to involve and motivate everybody in this country to fight this COVID-19 epidemic.